Hello, everyone. Spider Anurus here, and welcome to another GMOD related video. Now, surprise, because we're taking a look at another TARDIS today. Probably something that you have not been expecting. Today I am joined with the good old creator of the Homestuck TARDIS that has provided me with a little sneak peek at, well, this TARDIS. Torrent 64. Say hello.
Hola.
Yeah, that's him right there. Anyways, we're gonna be taking a look at the Warriors TARDIS from Big Finish's Doctor Who Unbound series, Doctor of War. Now,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, to kind of get into a bit of an explanation to those of you who do not know this range series, um, I guess I can lead this explanation to Torrent if you would like to explain Doctor Who Unbound.
Sure, of course. So the Unbound series is a series of audio dramas produced by Big Finish that are sort of like alternate universe versions of the Doctors that we know and love. So think of Marvel What If, but for Doctor Who, where they're able to tell new stories with new doctors or even some that are outside of the universe. Specifically, Doctor of War is an answer to the question, what would have happened if the Fourth Doctor actually went through with killing the Daleks in Genesis of the Daleks? So what happened was he basically got shot by a bunch of Daleks. Harry Sullivan and Sarah Jane Smith were killed by Daleks, and then the Time War happened early. So Fourth Doctor regenerated into Colin Baker, who then became the War Doctor, called himself the Warrior. And as you can see, this is his TARDIS, which you only see for like 5 seconds in the trailer, but it's
Yeah,
yeah.
this is heavily based on like creative liberties. But yeah, that's basically what Doctor Who Unbound is. It's like if I were to put my own personal opinions, it's like classic Who, but if the Time War started in the classic Who.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I guess we should get into the mighty juicy things of it. Now, here is the TARDIS itself. I really like it. It's very similar to how the 1977 or the Newberry TARDIS is, except it's a lot more kind of cubed. It's a lot more cubed than usual, almost like it took a some notes from the Bracaci box, the altered Bracaci box, and it kind of made. I like how small it is. It makes it a bit more like similar to how the second Doctor's TARDIS is, but still having a bit of fourth. I think the best part with this TARDIS, that as you can see, is just the muck. Just like all the dirtiness and everything. Just, you definitely see that this TARDIS has seen better days.
I had to take a lot of creative liberties with the muck and some of the designing of the TARDIS, since you can only see it from one angle in one shot in the first trailer, and that is the only time you see the exterior. So I had to take a couple of creative liberties with how some of it looked, especially since it wasn't very detailed. You don't even see the roof really, so I had to guess.
Oh yeah, that's
And
why, I was kind of a bit at the roof, because I kind of preferred, like, the lamp, but I think this works well with how the TARDIS is, since
yeah, because
this...
all you see is a white bump in the trailer.
Oh really, I might have to look at that later. Um,
We put
but
a little picture up for the people at home.
oh yeah, if my editing skills can actually work. Um, but yeah, the best part I like about this is that it kind of also takes the window frame of what the War Doctor's TARDIS is, with the very, like, I guess I could say sandpaper texture of, like, the windows. I kind of like that. It kind of is. If the War Doctor didn't have his current TARDIS, I feel like this would be a good, like, in between classic Who and new Who.
Yes.
Yeah. We also got the lock, actually, with the Yale signed and everything. You could even see, like, the original locking is kind of either meshed out with, because you could see the lock is kind of also rusted a little, maybe.
Uh, That's the whole reason I chose that texture, because it looks very
Yeah.
dirty and
And
stuck
then
up.
the most interesting thing about this is that the coloring is specifically different from how the original Newberry is, because it has the coloring palette of specifically the early TYJ box and some others, but the most interesting part is that the Podolbit signed is really cool because it's literally from the TYJ. The best part is that you could actually see all the dirt and kind of age and just kind of how old the paper is. Like, no one has touched this in a long time.
Hmm.
We even got the bottom of this TARDIS, which is nothing much to see, no muck under there, but it doesn't really matter. Um, this also comes with another skin, actually. It is a lit up variant, and I don't know, this just seems a lot more scarier than the actual like War Doctor TARDIS, because I think it might be the hue.
Hmm.
Yeah. The best part I also like is that the police public call box sign up here is generally the same, but I like that it's also kind of been mangled with a little.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
But
It's very.
so overall, I guess while we're commentating, what was the design process on how this TARDIS was like, and all?
So my first thoughts were, considering that this is directly after Genesis of the Daleks, that the exterior would probably be based more upon the Newberry box. So I went to TARDIS Builder's website. I was able to find the plans that had all the measurements for the Newberry box. I copied that, and then I used the one screenshot that I got from the trailer to see the differences. Like the door lock is super high up. 1 second.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can tell. Yeah, but I guess while he's back, he does have a point. The measurements are very similar to how the box is, so that's really cool. I think it adds a lot of differences since this is just after Genesis with the
All right, I'm
Daleks.
back. I'm sorry. I had to explain to my parents what I'm doing, why I'm doing this at so late at night. Okay.
This video is not perfect, people. Yeah. Anyways, continue.
Okay, so like I was saying, so then I had to use the trailer, to see the differences with the exterior. I also got some input on it from some other people who were like, hey, maybe you need to pull the panels out a little bit more. You need to reduce the indenting on the panels, stuff like that. It was, I didn't really get a lot of input on it because people thought it looked fine. So yeah.
Yeah. I remember that in early teasers that there wasn't as much dirt as it was. It was just mostly sand and everything.
Yeah, I went back and I saw in the trailer that it had a lot more of that like turquoise smudging that you can see like really on that like left side of the box and on the back. So I had to go back and add that, and then I felt like it needed to be a little more dirtied to really match in with like the War Doctor's
Yeah.
artist and the whole War Torn
The most
aesthetic.
interesting thing that I like is that this doesn't have the scratches that the War Doctor's TARDIS, the original that exterior has, because which is fine because I think this doesn't really need that. I think just the smudge and muck is just all it needs to be unique.
Yeah, it wasn't in the original trailer, so I decided not to add any of that.
Yeah. Besides, if I can understand a bit more, um, the, the War Doctor's TARDIS was mostly just an edited like Tenet box. So even with that, even if it had like the TYJ stuff on it, it still felt like a Tenet box. But with this, it's like it's exactly how you would imagine a TARDIS during a war.
Yeah, absolutely battered, absolutely messed up. The windows are all dirtied. It's pretty grimy.
Yeah, I think the best part is that even without the scratches, when I originally thought of what this TARDIS would look like exterior-wise, I always thought of a more of a battered TYJ, just a
Hmm.
battered TYJ. Because at
Yeah, I
first,
did have some people say that I probably should have gone for a more TYJ look with it, but eh.
yeah, it fits in line with how the timeline is with that story. Besides, even if it was TYJ, I feel like it would still feel a bit alienated since the Fifth Doctor is Cullen Baker in that universe.
Exactly.
Yeah, but anyways, enough chit chatting. Let's get inside of the actual TARDIS. I love the sound effects. And then we get in to see this beauty. Oh, holy
Yes.
hell. What the? When I first saw this, when I first saw this like in GMOD, I'm like, Jesus Christ! Jesus! The most interesting I liked was that you used a classic door, which was kind of interesting because I thought this would be more in line of how Nuhu would do, but But
There is a double door variant um, that uses those sliding doors. It's just like the normal sliding doors like they would in the trailer.
oh
But
yeah, we closed the door. We got a nice sound effect, and just holy hell, just I love the best part I liked about this TARDIS is that there's dust particles coming from the light.
that is all Karmal. Karmal did an amazing job texturing this interior. It is absolutely
Oh,
gorgeous.
oh yeah, if you listen closely, you can hear sparks in this interior. Like you can hear like the
Like
actual.
on the right ear.
Yeah, like on the right ear, you can hear a bit of sparking. The best part I liked about this was how this was very similar to how the TYJ interior was, but it's dramatically like altered and warped. Like I like that the walls kind of go on an arc, and I like that the pillars are very different. It's like
Yeah, everything like leans inwards. It really gives that like industrial feel.
we even got like the front where it has just these three pillars right here with the door, and yet you can. This kind of feels more like a Master's variant of his TARDIS, yet than a Doctor one, but it's the Time War. But the best part, I like this. Like the way that you implemented the roundels like around here and everything. It's like
That was actually Carmel's idea.
oh, that's really cool.
That was so cool.
Yeah, we even got this right here, which is
Whatever that is.
this was in like the one of the trailers, I think. It was a bit of a cable. But the best part I like this is that unlike the original War Doctor TARDIS, where it was just kind of a mix and mash TARDIS with just Hartnell walls and just Tenet pillars and just a console that looked like Tenet in its interior, this looks more in like to how you would kind of think an in-between TARDIS between the New Who series and the classic Who series would be. Like, you would definitely think this would be after, like, McGann, but it's not. The
Yes,
best part
the
I love...
design is much more cohesive.
Yeah, the design is a lot more, like, this is a TARDIS that hasn't been in function for a good while, but is still being used. The best part I like is that how one of the roundels has been ripped up and a bunch of the wiring is just kind of exposed, where you see a light and a bunch of circuitry, and then you see these wires going down into where the console is. Like, those are like backup wires. Like, this TARDIS has been through like a giant fight.
Exactly.
I even like that some of the grates are not overly aligned, specifically this one, where there's a wire sticking out of here, and this grate's just opened.
Oh yeah, I thought that was a great little thing that we could do. Especially since on the trailers, like I thought that would be such a cool thing that you wouldn't see really in much other cars. Is I have those great kind of floors like the coral.
Yeah, we even got a bit of the chain like wall on the top, and some of the wires. Definitely, even the sound effects are just. It's a mixture of like TYJ and Coral, and I like that. Hell,
Yeah,
even the rotor is
yeah,
like
so
that.
Cooley Dude did these sounds. It's a mix of his own version of the '80s hum with the TV movie and the choral.
Nice.
It's so nice.
Yeah, I always thought that this like white stuff was like a panel or
I don't know
something.
what that is.
I guess you could say it's that one like switch that the Master used in Utopia to lock the TARDIS or deadlock it. But even with that, it's very different from how that panel was in Coral. But speaking of the console, we got like the bottom right here, and it's like very different from how the 80s usually is.
Yeah, because the '80s like flares out at the bottom and has those hexagon designs. That's like some weird like looks like honestly it looks like a bit like a propane tank with little canisters along the sides.
Yeah, it's like the Warrior modified the interior redecoration to be more in line with how the war was going, instead of just being how the default would be. The best part I like is that it still has that 80s flair, but most of the controls are still different. Like, you don't see that one speaker that the console had and of everything. The best part is that all of the monitors are this nice, like, orange variant of the, of Tenant's, like, monitor. And the best
Yeah, we
part,
had to do a little bit of research to find that specific scanner design, and then we had to actually flip it horizontally and then color grade it orange.
oh yeah. I like that it moves too, because it allows that kind of like, oh, it's still active after all this time. The best part I like is that there's even certain controls that are custom, are just like for show, but they still have cool sounds. Like, look! That's not like even a sound from like the show, that's from Big Finish.
Yeah, those were supplied to me by Nanny Nom Noms. Very cool.
Yeah. I love that, and I love that the door sound was also cool. The one thing that I noticed is that we even got a Sonic dispenser.
Yes.
Though from what I heard from early concepts, there was going to be like a little grate where it would open, and one of these like roundel things on the console would open to reveal the Sonic.
Yeah, so there was originally supposed to be a little tray that slid out when you press the button that you could then interact with that would give you the Sonic. Right now, I couldn't get that to work, so right now the tray is just sitting in there. If you no-clipped into the console, you'd be able to see like the untextured Sonic screwdriver sitting in its little tray.
Oh my god, yeah, I just saw it. Yeah, I see it. Oh,
Yep.
that. I guess you can see why this is still not released on the workshop yet.
If I figure it out, then it'll totally be in the final version.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I love how some of the original controls are like that sound effect. It's just, we even got the fast return. The coordinate panel's cool. I like that you added control sequences. It makes it a lot more alive. And before we get into the throttle, it's just, you made the throttle the door handle.
That was a suggestion. I thought it was funny, so I did it.
Oh my god, yeah. Then we got the fizz lock, which has a nice sound effect, pretty decent. Then we got the random coordinates, which is oh my god, this is just an awesome TARDIS. We even got the cloaking mechanism. It sounds like something that you hear in a slot machine. Yeah, but yeah, we even got a redecorate feature. We don't really need to go over that. It's self-explanatory. We even got the HADS, which has the same sound effects, but it still works. We have the vortex drift control and a destination select, and we even got overdrive. That's actually really cool. And then this is interesting, 2 monitors. We got a separate one for a scanner, which is really neat. It works pretty well. And then a button where you could toggle this screen to see the actual interface, and I think that's really cool. I always prefer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say and I decided for this TARDIS that I would actually create a custom interface. So the background for that interface is using a screenshot from the first Doctor of War trailer.
Oh yeah, you could even tell that the interface is like colored to be like that. Yeah. The best part I like is that you also added a separate scanner to actually make it still have like a scanner function. But even with that, I always prefer these being the scanner because, well, one, it just feels a bit cooler because I don't know, this just seems a bit small.
See, that thing just kind of sat there. I didn't know what function that thing served, so I thought I should at least give it something to do rather than sit there and do nothing.
Oh yeah, speaking of something just sitting there, we got the rotor, and it's like, I like that it spins like the early Hartnell consoles. It spins. Like, you never really see this, like, type of rotor spin. Because you always thought it was just stationed there. Yet it
Yeah,
worked.
the original 80s rotor just sat there, but in the trailer, you can see that it's actually rotating.
Oh, I probably have to look in more detail. But yeah, we even got, like, a phase oscillator, which has a really nice sound effect. We even got the spin direction. A self-repair. We even have, like, a relative continuum stabilizer.
Also, I'd recommend shutting the power off and listening to the power down sound.
Oh yeah.
And Karmal's lovely grayscale textures if you turn your flashlight on.
Oh yeah, let me just do that. I'm just...
Ooh,
It's so
very
spooky.
nice
It's like
and
this
dark.
TARDIS hasn't really been used in a long time yet.
It's like it's dead.
Yeah, but then you turn the power back on. Let's just... Imagine in a roleplay, someone just goes into this TARDIS one day. They're like, what the heck is this? The power immediately goes on and you just hear this thing roar. It's like...
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just... We even got the handbrake. We even got the engine release in the vortex flight. Even with... And the door lock. But yeah, this is probably all the sounds that is in here. We even got this weird pedal for Yoda.
Don't know what that thing is. It's in the trailer. That's as much as I know.
Is this just a stool for Yoda, or is this...
I don't know, man.
Imagine K9 just sitting on here. Okay, yeah, but that's relatively the interior. The best part, I guess we can get to it, is how this TARDIS flies. Nice flight sound effects right here. It's just... Wow. Just great job. Just great job.
So Cooley Dude got these sounds from, actually not from the Unbound series, but from Dark Eyes. That's part of the dematerialization sound for the Eighth Doctor's TARDIS in Dark Eyes, and I thought that would.
Oh yeah, I just got Dark Eyes like just a few weeks ago. Yeah, I yeah, I need to listen to that because I also have the Monstrous audio pack for the War Doctor Adventures, or the War Doctor Doctor Who Big Finish thing.
I need to listen to the War Doctor.
Oh yeah, I need to listen to that badly. But yeah, that's just really cool. I guess before we go into the actual, we might as well do the control sequences now. Like, we just hit these. I like that all of these like control sequences are in like different places.
I thought it would be fun to have you run around the TARDIS rather than just hitting a couple controls.
Oh yeah, instead of just like hitting one lever after the another and just immediately be in flight.
I might tone it down though, because it's kind of long.
Yeah, this is long, because then we get into this. I like that the inner rotor just goes up and down while it spins, while the glass just doesn't. It's stationary. It makes sense.
And the roundels are pulsating.
Wait. Oh my god, you're right.
And the lamps up top are pulsating as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that. This is just such a cool TARDIS, man. The best part I can say is that we go into manual flight. Here is the vortex. We could get a good look. A very red and altered version of the Tom Baker intro, I can tell.
Yeah, it's the red version of the diamond switch stand that appears when the logo comes up.
Oh yeah. Sorry if you saw a bit of the map. It's sometimes with certain TARDISes the vortex like shows like a little, like the map. You can see the map in like the inner circle of the vortex. It's a weird thing.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but even with that, you just hear this TARDIS like move without even doing a dematerialization noise, and you just know that this thing's in flight. And then we just land.
You got the beeps from the pilot takeoff.
And then we land, and it has that like dematerialization stop from like the 7th Doctor. And then go out.
Oh, you landed under the map. Isn't that lovely?
I guess this works. Yeah, that's basically this TARDIS.
I'd actually recommend checking out it flying in third-person mode and listening to the DMAT
Oh
and
yeah,
that
we
for
might
that.
as well start. We might as well start doing that now. So let me just get into the manual flight. Here is what it is in manual flight, actually. I like that it's like a slow DMAT and not just a continuous like remat with other TARDISes. That's cool. It's
I had the idea when I heard the sound effect to have it wait till it peaks at all the whooshing sounds to actually make it fade away.
oh yeah, it works. It works well with how Classic Who did it. Then we have this.
Yeah, when you're landing, the TARDIS doesn't actually fade like that. There's nothing there. It just does that towards
And then it just immediately appears. Yeah.
And go into the console, like the commands.
Oh, you mean the interface?
Yeah, no, I mean like the actual GMOD one commands.
Okay.
Type TARDIS 2.
Alright, TARDIS 2.
Underscore debug underscore warning.
Oh yeah, warning. Oh yeah, the warning.
Oh yeah.
Central chamber damage detected. This doesn't even. You hear like the cloister bell, but the rest of it's not even a TARDIS. It's like a freaking nuclear silo got hit.
And it has its own specific damage to take off and like sounds in both the interior and the exterior.
Oh yeah, I'll probably have to take a look at that, but I don't know if we have time.
Yeah, I just take a look at that separately.
Yeah, I guess we might as well get out or something. Yeah, that's the Warrior's TARDIS. The only thing we need to really cover is the double doors variant. The only difference is, well, we have this.
We have nice double doors.
Yeah, I love that you added like a very Tenet-looking door system. Even the phone is like, there's no like thing to call. It's like ripped out.
Yeah, so I was given the idea by Nanny Nom Noms to add the phone on the back, and I thought it would be really interesting to have the phone itself ripped off, and like maybe it got caught in the door when he was closing it at some point.
Yeah, the best part is that this has double locks, meaning he doesn't want anyone to get in here.
I also added locks onto the windows for the latches, as if maybe at some point he'd need to unlatch the window and lean it open and maybe shoot something out of it just in case, to not like leave the safety of the TARDIS.
Oh yeah, especially since the chameleon circuit's busted. The best part I like is how, even with this, it still looks cool. The best part I can say is that I guess the only thing I can do this is we might as well do one last thing, and that's like a comparison. So, specifically with the one that inspired this design, you can definitely see the differences.
Yeah, the blue color was a lot more more of a cyan rather than this like bluish purple of the normal blueberry box.
Yeah, you can also tell that it's a lot more TYJ colored inspired than this. Like how, look at the lock, like the lock is like right here, well this is like literally up here.
Yep.
Yeah, the best part is that even with that, once the whole chameleon circuit feature starts to get implemented, I can't wait to kind of see people use it to have this exterior be on this TARDIS.
Oh, I was already messing around with that earlier, and it looked so weird. It was like surreal, really.
Yeah, was it weird like looking into like the TYJ interior?
It was weird. It was so weird.
Like you would never expect it to be like that, cause
it's like the exterior is just so dirty, and the interior is like clean and pristine.
yeah. But even with that, I guess, we also can, I guess, briefly just look at this TARDIS. You already seen from my last review. The differences are self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
You could just tell. But yeah, that is mainly the Warrior TARDIS. Thank you for helping me on this, Torrent. I'm glad to have you here and all that, explaining how this TARDIS in development went. Now, I know this, so, besides all that, what is your thoughts and just kind of, other words to say to the audience for when this TARDIS actually releases? Because this is not the full version yet.
So I was besides myself with how happy I am with how it came out. Karmal did such an excellent job helping me with textures. He took my interior model, he refined it, cleaned up the geometry, and his textures just came out so beyond my expectations. They came out absolutely excellently. So the only thing that I can say is that I hope that once it hits the workshop on April 2nd, my birthday, that everybody just has as much fun as they can using it and that they
Yeah.
really enjoy it.
I think when April 2nd hits, I'll update the description of this video to show the workshop link, so that way people can play for this for themselves. Um, but until then, I'll see you all guys on April 2nd, and thank you, Torrent, for just allowing me to kind of take a look at this TARDIS and just kind of mess around with it, even look for bugs. It is a pleasure.
Yeah, now you can see the time rotor. Now you can see it.
Yep,
It's not
it's
too transparent anymore.
Yep, it's very interesting. The best part, I think to close this off, I think the best part that I can say about this TARDIS so far is I like that it's an alternate War Doctor TARDIS, and I like how just kind of freaky it is, because it's definitely even if it's just an alternate Time War, it's still probably worse than the current one in the main Doctor Who universe, because it's during the classic era. And all those people in the classic era, I think in one story, where it's the master on the planet that the Doctor meets Leela in with the Fourth Doctor. That's an alternate take on the face of evil, with the master being the one. And I think at the end, from what I heard from a certain YouTube channel, the master does something bad to Leela, and it's
Oh yeah, I remember listening to that.
I probably do not want to know what it is, because he probably cut her face off. But
It was bad. I was not happy. What the heck?
what?
Sorry, there's loud sounds in my house. I'm trying to figure out what the heck that was. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah.
But besides that, this is the Warriors TARDIS, and I'm gonna say this, might as well do my outro. Thank you all for watching this video. If you liked it, great. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. Um, Make sure to comment down below your thoughts and just criticisms in general. No hate in the comments. We all are just here to have fun. Also, I don't know if I'll be able to do this, but also go check out other works from Torrent64 himself on the workshop. He's also the creator of the Homestuck TARDIS and the Nirvana TARDIS, so make sure to give those a check out as well. Um, and besides that, this is the video. I'll see you all next time, and this is Spider Anurus crawling back into the web. See you all soon, everyone.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Well, where to next?